Hello everyone. Life is short, yet so many people spend it trapped in the cage of opinions. The truth is simple but often forgotten. Nobody really cares as much as you think. When you walk through the streets, when you sit in a room, you imagine eyes are on you, judging your steps, weighing your choices. But they are not. People are too busy carrying their own burdens, worrying about their own problems, and thinking about their own lives. So why give them power over your path? Do what you want. Live how you wish. If there is a dream, chase it. If there is a risk, take it. If there is a voice inside you, listen to it. The people you fear will forget your mistakes faster than you imagine. They are not watching you. They are watching themselves. And if someone does speak or criticize, it will fade. The world moves on. Time moves on. The only thing that stays is whether you live true to yourself or not. Many stay silent because of fear. Fear of failing. Fear of being laughed at. But think carefully. The pain of regret is heavier than the pain of failure. It stays longer. It grows stronger. Do you want to reach the end and wonder what could have been, or do you want to look back and smile because you dared? When you begin to look at life closely, you realize something very powerful. People are busy. They are occupied with their own thoughts, their own fears, their own struggles. They wake up each day thinking about what they have to do, what challenges they must overcome, what problems need their attention. This simple truth changes everything. It means that the weight you place on other people's opinions is often much heavier in your mind than it is in reality. Most of the time, they are not even looking at you. They are thinking about themselves. That moment when you feel embarrassed, when you think the world has noticed your mistake, it is over for them before it even began. They move on because their life demands it. They have bills to pay, relationships to handle, dreams to chase, and failures to recover from. You are not the center of their world, and that is where your freedom lies. You fear failure because you imagine the eyes of others locked on you. You believe they will judge, they will laugh, they will never forget. But go back in your own memory and ask yourself this. How many times do you remember someone else's failure? How much do you care about the mistakes of others? The answer is almost none. You might notice something for a moment, but life quickly moves forward. This is exactly how it works for everyone else too. So if they are not remembering your failures, why should you chain yourself to the fear of making one? The mind creates a stage that does not exist. It tells you that people are watching, waiting, and whispering. It makes you hesitate. It makes you hold back. It makes you settle for less. But when you step into reality, you see something much clearer. Everyone's fighting their own silent battles. Everyone is carrying something heavy. When they look at you, they are not analyzing your every move. They are distracted by their own worries. They might have noticed you stumble, but they already have something else pulling at their attention. And even if they do remember for a short while, it fades. Time washes everything away. What seems like a storm to you is just a passing breeze to them. The danger is not in what others think. It is in what you think they think. That fear can paralyze you. It can keep you standing at the edge when you should be taking a leap. But imagine if you lived without it. Imagine if you decided to do what you want, fully aware that most people will not even care. And those who do will forget soon. The power that gives you is enormous. It means you can try and fail, and try again without the weight of shame. It means you can create, speak, act and chase something bigger without worrying about every opinion that might come your way. The truth is, those who succeed are not free of failure. They are free of the fear of being seen failing. They know that failure is only a step, not an ending. They do not freeze because someone might notice. They understand that nobody cares as much as they think, and that knowledge is their shield. They keep moving, keep experimenting, keep living. When you adopt this mindset, You stop living for the audience and start living for yourself. So the next time you hold back, remember this. When you make a mistake, when you fall, when things do not work out, it feels like the whole world is watching. But they are not. They are busy thinking the same about themselves. And that is the secret. You are free. Fear is one of the strongest chains a person can carry, yet it is also one of the most deceptive. It makes you believe that people are watching you, waiting for you to slip, waiting for you to fall, so they can laugh or criticize. But when you really observe life, you see that most of that fear is an illusion. Everyone is busy in their own lives, wrapped up in their own problems and victories. The truth is, no one is as focused on you as you think, but fear paints a different picture. It creates shadows where there is no danger and makes you feel small before a crowd that barely exists. When you think of doing something bold, whether it is starting a new career, pursuing a dream, speaking your truth, or stepping into unknown territory, there is always that inner voice that asks, "What will they think?" That question has killed more dreams than failure ever did. Fear of judgment is like an invisible wall. It stops you before you even begin. It whispers that you are not ready, that you might be laughed at, that others will remember your mistakes forever. But if you look closely, you will realize something liberating. Those same people you fear are carrying the exact same voice in their own heads. They are worried about what you think of them. They are wondering if their lives look good enough. They are fighting their own doubts. This fear is nothing but a projection of your own mind. It grows when you feed it with thoughts of what could go wrong. It becomes smaller when you face it with action. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone try something and fail, and you remembered it for years? Hardly ever. At best, you notice, maybe even talk about it for a moment, but then life goes on. Everyone moves forward. Yet we exaggerate this fear in our minds as if the world will stop spinning when we stumble. Fear of judgment is a silent thief. It steals your energy, your courage, and your opportunities. It convinces you to stay quiet when you should speak. It convinces you to play safe when you should explore. And every time you obey it, it grows stronger. But when you break it once, when you act despite it, you realize how fragile it really is. You see that nothing dramatic happens. Nobody is pointing fingers. The ground does not shake. In fact, many people respect those who dare. They admire courage because it is rare. Those who laugh or criticize are only reflecting their own insecurities. Freedom begins when you stop asking permission to live your own life. When you truly understand that fear of judgment is just an illusion, your steps become lighter. You stop shrinking to fit in. You stop trying to please everyone. You realize that even if someone does criticize, it is only a moment, and then it is gone. Their words cannot define your worth unless you let them. Your path is your own. The world does not reward those who hide. It rewards those who try, who dare, who fail and rise again. Some people will always have opinions. Let them. Opinions are cheap, action is priceless. The difference between a life lived fully and a life filled with regret is often just one thing. Someone chose to move through the fear. So when that voice rises again, when it says you will be judged, smile at it. Thank it for trying to protect you. But remind it that no one cares as much as it claims. People are too busy living their own story. And when you embrace that truth, you are finally free to write yours. Your happiness should never rest in the hands of another person. Too many people wait for approval, validation, or recognition before they take a step forward. They measure their worth by how many people agree with them, support them, or praise them. But this is the fastest way to lose yourself. If you are always looking outside for permission to feel happy, you will always be at the mercy of others. The truth is that nobody is watching you as closely as you think. Nobody carries your dreams in their heart. Nobody is responsible for your peace of mind. That is yours alone, and the moment you truly understand it, life changes. Think of the times you stopped yourself from doing something you wanted. Maybe you hesitated to wear something you liked, to say something you believed, to take a step toward a dream because you were afraid of what someone else might think. The mind tells you that people will judge, they will laugh, they will criticize. But if you step back, you see how untrue this is. Everyone is living inside their own circle of thoughts. They are busy managing their own problems, their own insecurities, their own dreams. The little attention they give you is temporary, and it fades faster than you imagine. So why give such fragile opinions the power to control your life? When you live for approval, you become like a traveler lost in a fog. Every decision depends on whether someone else shines a light for you. And when that light disappears, you stand still. You stop moving. That is why so many dreams never become real. People are scared to be misunderstood, scared to stand alone. But happiness that depends on others is never stable. It is like building a home on sand. One change, one comment, one rejection can shake it. Real happiness, the kind that lasts, comes when you understand that your worth is not measured by applause. It is measured by your own satisfaction. When you look in the mirror and know you stayed true to yourself, approval can feel good, but it is addictive. Once you taste it, you keep searching for more. You start tailoring your life to please others instead of yourself. And the more you do that, the further you move from your own truth. This is why some people feel empty, even when surrounded by praise. They built everything based on what others wanted to see, not what they wanted to live. That is why the boldest people are often the happiest. They do not need the crowd. They move with purpose even when no one is clapping. They trust their inner voice more than the noise around them. The truth is, no matter what you do, someone will always have an opinion. Someone will think you are wrong. Someone will not like it. You cannot live long enough or try hard enough to please everyone. And if you do, you will lose yourself in the process. So why not choose the only opinion that truly matters? Yours. It is not selfish, it is necessary. The world is full of advice, full of criticism, full of distractions. But the one thing you must protect is your own happiness. When you stop seeking permission to be happy, a weight lifts. You start doing what you love because you love it. You begin speaking your mind because it matters to you. You take risks because your life is too short to be controlled by fear of disapproval. And when that shift happens, people notice. Ironically, they respect those who do not beg for their respect. They admire those who live unapologetically because it is rare. So when the day ends, ask yourself one question. Did you choose happiness for yourself? Or did you wait for someone else to hand it to you? Nobody cares as much as you think, and that is your freedom. Regret is one of the heaviest emotions a person can carry. It comes quietly but stays for years, sometimes for a lifetime. When you hesitate because you are afraid of failing or afraid of what others might say, you are choosing safety over growth. And that choice often leaves a bitter taste later. People rarely regret the things they tried and failed at. They regret the chances they never took, the words they never spoke, the dreams they buried because fear convinced them not to try. The weight of wondering, what if, can become heavier than any failure ever could. Failure hurts for a while, but regret lasts far longer. Think about the moments when you wanted to take a step towards something meaningful. Maybe you wanted to start a business, learn a new skill, speak to someone you admired, or express something from your heart. What stopped you? Almost always, it is fear. Fear of being judged, fear of making a mistake, fear of not being good enough. But what if you had tried? What if you had failed? At least then you would know. You would have learned something, grown stronger, and carried the memory of courage instead of the burden of regret. The truth is, failure is not the enemy we make it out to be. It teaches, it shapes, it gives depth to our experience. Each failure is a step towards something better. It is a natural part of progress. And every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has failed many times along the way. Yet they kept moving. They kept trying because they knew the alternative. A life of hesitation, a life of what could have been, was far worse. People do not remember how many times you stumbled. They remember that you kept walking. When you choose action over hesitation, you build confidence. Even if things do not go as planned, you gain clarity. You find out what works and what does not. But when you hold back, when you let fear control you, nothing changes. The opportunity passes, and you are left wondering what might have happened. That wondering grows heavier with time, because life keeps moving forward, and the moment never returns the same way again. Many people live small because they fear the opinions of others. They think a mistake will be remembered forever, but as we have already seen, nobody is watching you that closely. People are busy with their own lives, their own problems. They might notice for a moment, but soon they move on. Yet inside you, the voice of regret grows louder because you know you could have tried. And that voice will not fade easily. It will remind you of the door you chose not to open, the step you chose not to take. Regret is not only heavy, it is silent. It does not come with a loud crash. It comes with quiet thoughts at night, with a sudden memory when you see someone else living the life you wanted. When you realize that time does not wait. Every day you hesitate, you trade a piece of your potential for comfort. But comfort is temporary, and regret is permanent. The only way to keep it away is to act, to try, to risk. The courage to move forward despite fear is the only real antidote to regret. Each action, even a small one, keeps you alive inside. It keeps you moving. It keeps you learning. And one day, whether you succeed or fail, you will look back and feel peace instead of longing. You will know you lived fully. So remember, this: failure might sting, but regret burns. When you feel afraid, when hesitation creeps in, choose to act anyway. Life is too short to wonder forever. Nobody cares as much as you think. But one day you will, so give yourself the chance. The moment you realize that freedom begins when you stop asking for permission, your entire view of life changes. Most people are trapped not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they are waiting. Waiting for someone to approve their decisions, waiting for someone to say it is the right time, waiting for the perfect moment when everything will align. That moment rarely comes. Life moves fast, and the window of opportunity often closes before you notice it. Every time you delay, because you are seeking permission or validation, you are giving away your power. You are letting someone else hold the pen to write your story. Think of how much energy people spend worrying about what others might think. They want to start something new, but first ask if others will support it. They want to take a different path, but hesitate because it might not be accepted. The truth is that the world is too busy to watch your every move. People may have opinions, but those opinions are short-lived. You are the only one who lives with the long-term result of your choices. So why give them control? Freedom is not something that is handed to you. It is something you claim. It is a decision you make to live according to your values, not someone else's expectations. When you stop asking for permission, you also stop waiting for perfect conditions. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be risk. But life rewards those who step forward anyway. Look at those who achieve extraordinary things. They are not the ones who waited for the world to agree with them. They are the ones who dared to move when others stood still. They are the ones who understood that failure might happen, criticism might come, but those are only passing moments. What stays is the courage they showed. You do not need someone to tell you that your dreams are valid. You do not need approval to explore your curiosity, to try something new, to change direction when life demands it. Often, The loudest voice stopping you is your own. It tells you to wait until you are ready, until people will understand. But readiness comes with action, and understanding often comes later. Many of the greatest ideas were doubted at first. Many bold moves were questioned. But those who took them did not wait for applause. They moved because they knew their lives were theirs to live. The fear of stepping out of line is one of the biggest barriers to growth. From childhood, we are taught to seek permission. We learn to follow rules, to please teachers, parents, bosses, friends. But adulthood is different. Nobody can grant you permission to be yourself. Nobody can give you a slip that says now you are allowed to follow your dream. That permission must come from within. When you realize this, you stop shrinking to fit other people's expectations. You begin to understand that your decisions do not need to be explained or justified to everyone. There will always be those who do not understand your choices. There will always be someone ready to question you. Let them. They are not walking your path. They are not carrying your responsibilities. They are not facing your struggles. You are. And because it is your life, it is your right to shape it. Some people will admire your courage, some will criticize it. Neither matters as much as the quiet satisfaction you feel when you know you are living according to your own truth. When you stop asking for permission, something else happens too. You inspire others. You show them that it is possible to act boldly, to think differently, to follow a path even when no one else believes in it. This courage creates ripples. It encourages others to break free from their own hesitation. So when you stand at the edge of a decision, remember this. The world is not waiting to approve your next step. It is moving on with or without you. And your life will only expand when you take ownership of it completely. Nobody cares as much as you think, and that is your chance to finally move forward. Life is always moving. The days pass, the seasons change, and people come and go, each of them carrying their own story. What may feel like a huge moment for you is often just a passing thought for someone else. This is why so many opinions about you are short-lived. They may notice, they may talk for a day or two, but then they go back to their own lives because they have their own challenges, dreams, and problems to face. When you truly see this, you stop giving so much weight to what others think. You realize that the world is not as focused on you as your mind makes it seem. And that is a powerful kind of freedom. How many times have you seen someone make a mistake or try something bold? Maybe they failed. Maybe they stumbled. Maybe they succeeded. How long did you actually think about it? A few minutes, maybe a few hours, and then it faded. This is how it works for everyone. People might observe for a moment, but they are too busy living their own lives to keep thinking about yours. Even the ones who talk the most will move on when something else catches their attention. This means the fear of judgment, the fear of being remembered for a mistake, is much bigger in your mind than in reality. And once you see that, hesitation loses its power. This truth is not meant to make you careless. It is meant to make you free. Because if people are not carrying your failures with them, if their opinions fade like smoke, then you have space to try and fail and try again. You have space to explore, to take risks, to follow your own path without being chained to the fear of gossip or criticism. The only thing that truly stays is your own memory of whether you acted or stayed silent, whether you stepped forward or stayed behind. And that memory will always matter more than the temporary thoughts of others. It is common to believe that the world is watching you, but the truth is that everyone has their own problems. They are worried about bills, relationships, careers, health, and countless other things. They do not have the time or energy to analyze your every move. And even if they do notice something about you, life will soon demand their attention elsewhere. Understanding this brings calmness. It tells you that you can live more boldly because people will not remember as much as you think they will. Think of how liberating this is. It means the stage you think you are standing on is smaller than you imagine. You can try something new, make a change, take a stand, and most people will forget soon. Those who do remember may even respect you for daring to do something different. But even if they do not, their opinions will fade. They will not carry your name in their mind forever. This is why you should not waste precious time shrinking yourself to avoid attention. What truly matters is not their memory of you, but your memory of yourself. When you look back, you will not care what strangers thought. You will care whether you lived fully, whether you followed your own truth, whether you tried. The people you fear today will hardly matter tomorrow. Their opinions will disappear like ripples in water. Your actions, however, will shape your life. So move forward knowing this. The world forgets quickly, but your choices stay with you. Do what you want, follow what matters to you, and let go of the need to be approved or remembered. Nobody cares as much as you think, and that is the reason you should act boldly today. The voice that matters the most is the one that lives inside you. Every day there are countless opinions around you, some loud and some quiet, but none of them should hold more weight than your own. People will always have something to say. Some will support you, some will doubt you, and some will criticize you simply because they can. If you give all of those voices more importance than your own, you will lose your direction. You will be pulled in too many ways and forget what truly matters to you. The truth is, nobody else walks your path. Nobody else knows the full story of your life, your pain, your sacrifices, your dreams. So why give them control over how you feel or what you choose? When you listen to yourself, you begin to build trust with the most important person in your life. You. That trust is what carries you when the world is confusing, when challenges come, and when things do not go as planned. If your inner voice is weak, you will always look for someone else to guide you, and that guidance will never be perfect because no one understands you as deeply as you do. Your happiness, your peace, and your success depend on whether you value your own voice above the noise. The outside world can be loud. Social media, friends, family, coworkers. Everyone seems to have an opinion about what you should do. Sometimes it is well-meaning advice, sometimes it is unnecessary judgment, but in the end, it is still noise. You cannot live a life that belongs to everyone else. Trying to please all these voices will only lead to exhaustion. It will make you doubt yourself. It will make you delay your dreams. That is why the strongest people are not those who never fail, but those who listen to themselves and keep moving even when others do not agree. When you follow your own voice, you create clarity. You know why you are doing what you are doing, and even when the road gets hard, you can stand strong because your choices were made by you, not by someone else. You can look back and say, I lived by my own truth. Even if you make mistakes, they are your mistakes, and you learn from them. There is freedom in knowing that your life is your responsibility and no one else's. Many people struggle because they place more value on outside approval than on inner peace. They keep waiting for applause, recognition, or validation. But those things are temporary. They feel good for a moment, then fade, and you are left needing more. This is why some people never feel fulfilled, no matter how much they achieve. They built everything based on what others wanted to see. But when your actions come from your own voice, every success feels real, every step feels meaningful, and even the struggles feel worth it because they are part of your own path. It is not always easy to listen to yourself. Doubts will come, fear will whisper. The noise outside will try to drown your thoughts. But the more you practice, the stronger your inner voice becomes. Start small. Make choices that feel right for you. Learn to say no when something does not align with your values. Stand by your decisions even if they are not popular. Over time, this inner strength becomes unshakable. You stop fearing judgment. You stop needing permission. You start living. At the end of the day, the only voice that will stay with you is your own. Others will forget. They will move on. But you will carry your choices and your silence, your action and your hesitation. Make sure the voice inside is one you can trust. Nobody cares as much as you think, and that is why you must care enough to listen to yourself. When you look at everything we have talked about, it all comes back to one truth. Life is too short to be lived through the eyes of others. People are not watching you the way you believe. Their opinions are temporary, their attention is fleeting, and their memories of your failures or victories fade faster than you think. What remains is the story you choose to write, the steps you choose to take, and the courage you choose to show. If you keep waiting for approval, you will keep waiting forever. If you keep worrying about judgment, you will keep shrinking. But if you decide to move, to act, to try, to fail, and to rise again, you will finally feel alive. This is your life, and the voice that matters most is the one inside you. Trust it, honor it, and follow it. Do what you want because nobody cares as much as you imagine, and that is your freedom. Good luck on your journey, keep moving forward. And thank you for giving your time to listen.